Welcome back to Aqua World. My name is Camera, or Aqua Girl, as you know. If this is your first time here, we are present, and we are doing better than we were yesterday, okay? And I have a special guest here today. I don't know if you see, but this is my father, okay, my dad. Hello, Dad.
Hey, Cam.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Great. Introduce yourself to the people.
Well, my name is Kennis McDaniel, a.k.a. Dad.
Okay.
A.k.a. Knowledge.
Okay.
Kennis means knowledge in Dutch.
Right. Okay, knowledge is power.
There it is.
Period. Yeah, I just asked my dad to be one of my first guests on the show because I feel like me and my dad have great conversations. And I feel like our relationship has really significantly grown a lot. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me as a guest.
Yes, you're welcome.
And your first guest, right?
Yeah.
I am truly honored, and I'm going to have to say yes to that because our relationship is great. We have a great relationship, and we have a lot of things in common.
Yes. But what I'm saying is that I feel like our relationship has grown a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel that way.
Well, I'm going to say I think that's because you have grown.
Yes.
You've come a long way.
Yes, I have.
And you're still got a lot more way to go, but you're on your way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's kick it off with this first question that I have is, what do you think is a key ingredient that is required to make a relationship last or to keep a relationship growing? What do you think is like a key ingredient?
Wow.
What would you say?
A key ingredient to keep a relationship thriving.
Yes.
Okay. So, first of all, interest.
Okay. Like you have to be interested in the person.
Yeah, I think interest is a good thing, but, attraction is also another thing. There has to be something about that person that's attractive to you.
Right. And not necessarily physical, but just something that's pulling you to them.
Absolutely. Initially, it's the outer part, but as we grow and get better, it should become other qualities, inner qualities, communication, knowledge, and then having something that's in common that you can both focus in on and communicate about and to help you to grow more together.
Right.
Common interest.
Common interest.
Absolutely.
Okay, I like that. So someone had asked me recently about me and you, because they were asking about their relationship with their dad. And so they're like, well, do you feel like since you and your dad go and get, pedicures together, so, that's something that we started doing, and we need to do that some more. But
Right.
They're like, do you think that's what keeps you guys, your relationship flourishing? And I'm like, honestly, it's a good thing that keeps us spending time together, for sure. But I feel like it's us doing that work. Like, for instance, when I wrote you that letter, okay? I wrote my dad basically a really heavy letter when I was in therapy. If you guys don't know, I was in therapy for about 4 years or so due to me feeling very depressed. And so when I was in therapy, I was just doing a lot of work on myself. And I wrote my dad a letter just saying all these things about how I felt. And once I wrote that letter to you, I feel like that's when our work on our relationship started. So, what can you tell me about your side of you receiving that letter?
It is a day I'll never forget.
Really?
I was living in Harbor City at the time, and I remember when it came to my mailbox, it was, first of all, it was thick.
Right, okay. 4-page letter.
It was, I can't remember, was it front and back?
I feel like it probably was.
It was full.
Wait, so I sent it in the mail? I don't remember that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Right.
The letter was full.
Right.
It was front and back. And I read the letter several times. there were some things in that letter that I was not prepared to read. And it really caused a lot of inner reflection. And I knew that I wanted to write you back, but some of the things that you said in the letter, I could not write you back because I hadn't worked on myself in those areas.
Right.
And I wanted my letter to be about truth.
Right.
Because your letter came from a place of truth.
Right.
And I mean, I can tell, that letter was so centered. And it was really one of the first signs of maturity that I saw in you.
Me, really?
Yes, it truly was. So, I kept you on hold for quite a while.
Yeah. And it's funny because I remember saying in the letter to write me back. But I also knew that when I wrote that letter that I didn't have this expectation. I wanted to hear from you, but I also felt like it was something that I had to get off of me. And I was just like, okay, if he writes me back, he writes me back. But also I wasn't really attached to that feeling of I hope that he does, because I didn't want to feel disappointed, I guess. If he didn't.
I remember that I took at least 3 attempts
to write.
To write, and each attempt I had to stop because there was no truth. There was no truth. It was like filler. It wasn't there. And so I'm like, okay. And I like to write.
I was going to say, you're a writer.
I like to write. And I said, no, I can't do this. So I had to back up. And every day was pressing on me. It was pressing every day. And so I said, okay, knowledge, you got to do the work.
Right. Okay. You better go do the work. Okay?
You got to do the work.
That's the main thing that's okay, what is the work? Like you said, it's pulling back and having to do some inner reflection.
Well, the work for me at that time was honesty.
Right.
And accountability. Because much of what you wrote, it was just really on point. And I was embarrassed too. I'm like, wow, here it is that I drew this picture of myself. And here you as a viewer, you're looking at that picture and you didn't like it.
Right.
That picture did not fit your morals or your standards. And so I'm like, wow, this is my child, my daughter who I love. What is it that I want to say to her? And how can I, be a better reflection?
Right.
And so from that point there, I actually wrote a letter to myself first. I wrote a letter to myself, and then I read the letter. I would add to it, and then I just started.
Right.
I started deleting people out of my life.
Okay. From there on.
Yeah, I did. I started deleting people out of my life, and it was a good thing.
Yeah. Wow. But it's all because basically I sparked that though.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So can you say now, being where you are now, are you not necessarily happy about that, but do you like that you did those things?
First of all, I am happy about it.
Oh, okay.
I am very happy about it, and thank you for that. Thank you for the clarity.
Yes, you're welcome.
And I really appreciate the fact that you were brave enough to do that, because when I was your age, I would have never written a letter like that to my parents.
Right.
I would have been afraid.
Right.
But you weren't.
Yeah.
And you knew that you could do it.
Yeah. I feel... I don't want to say I wasn't so afraid. Maybe I did feel a little bit of fear, but also at the same time, I was just I have to get this out, and I have to let him know how I really feel, because it was bottled up. You know, and I feel like it even goes into, I remember around those times, it's like when you and Mom, you were coming back to the house and, you know, doing all the things with Mom. It's like, you even said you could feel that I was being standoffish towards you.
Yeah.
You could feel that I wasn't really messing with you like that.
You wasn't engaged.
I wasn't. And it's like I didn't like you at that time. When I was going through all this therapy and stuff, I was just like, I got to a place where I was like, yeah, I don't like my dad. Like, I loved you, but I didn't like you because I felt like, one, I felt like you didn't really see me and you didn't really know me and, you know, all these things that I'm put in the letter. And I feel like another thing that I recently uncovered too is that I felt like I felt some type of rejection from you as well. Because like when you would come over and, you know, you would bring Mom, what are they called? Lemon drops, whatever the bombs are from Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
You would bring her those and you wouldn't bring me any. I would be in my room and I would be so sad. Like, what about me? You know, I don't know, I would just...
Medicine ball.
Yes, medicine balls from Starbucks.
Right.
So, yeah, I feel like that was a feeling that I would feel, not just that instance, but, you know, other times too. So, but yeah, I feel like that's something that I'm working on right now, is like healing from rejection, especially from, I feel like, from men, because I feel like that's something that like scares me.
Okay.
And I feel like I think like, I don't know if I'm going to get rejected, or just feeling the feeling of being rejected from men. It's like really scary for me. So I put up this wall to protect myself. But yeah.
But rejection is something that just about everyone faces. The only thing is everyone handles it differently.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and I feel like my way is I shut down. I shut down. I get cold. Yeah, I don't talk about it. Another thing I feel like is that you have helped me with is to express how I'm feeling instead of keeping it in. Because like, you can't read my mind. You don't know what I'm thinking.
That's right.
I can't remember what really happened, but I was holding on to something. You were just like, well, how come you didn't say anything? How come you didn't tell me? I'm just like, yeah, I guess I do got to say something, huh?
Right.
In order for the other person.
It all begins with a thought.
Yeah, because and I feel like that's what cripples me. But I'm learning now that's like, okay, if you don't do that, you're not going to get nowhere. No solution is ever going to be made.
Well, communication is such a strong asset to have, and it's something that you can continue to do. You can get better and better, but you'll never be perfect with it, you know, because one person's communication doesn't necessarily have to be another person's communication.
Right.
Everyone has different communication styles too.
Right. So that's another thing, navigating how people communicate their different ways.
Now I want to say this because you talked about rejection. I have learned, my dad, your grandfather, he was real good about seeing advertisements and using that advertisement as some type of meaningful piece to share with us. Like, for instance, there used to be an Arid commercial.
Arid?
Arid. It was just a deodorant.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Arid Extra Dry.
Okay.
Their slogan was never let them see you sweat.
Okay.
So when I first saw that, I said, wait a minute. No one knows how I feel inside.
Right.
Unless I let them know.
Right.
With my outer expression or something that I am displaying on the outside. So I do really well with rejection. I feel it, but I can handle it now because if I say something to someone and they reject me, I can handle it well inside.
But so on the outside, like you said, never see them sweat. They'll never see you react on the outside.
That's right.
But on the inner, you feel it.
And I learned how to just keep walking.
Like kind of just like
mentally.
a little nub on the chin.
That's right. That's right. And just keep walking.
Right.
Thank you. And may even laugh.
Right.
If I need to.
Yeah, that's true. Because everything is not going to... You have to face it. You have to deal with rejection. Life is not always going to be...
Absolutely.
What's the opposite of rejection?
Acceptance.
Yes. Everything's not going to be accepting. That's very true.
Yeah.
Speaking of your father, how do you feel like that has affected you?
Wow.
Like losing a parent.
So, first of all, like you, when I was younger, I didn't like my father. My father was a disciplinarian. I felt my dad was cheap. There were some things that I wanted to do as a young person that my father just did not see my vision whatsoever.
Right.
But then I didn't see his either.
Right.
And I didn't know what it was like to be a father, to be a husband, to be a provider, to be a protector. I didn't know what any of that stuff was.
Right.
I was just a kid.
Right.
With my hands out. And no dollars.
Okay.
And no cents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, but when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Amen.
Okay? So, as I got older, my respect for my dad grew with my age. And I started really listening to him. And those messages that my dad would put out, they were so heavy. I'm like, wow, how does this guy come up with these things?
Right.
Because he didn't have any education.
Right.
He was just a very wise man.
That he was.
Very, very wise. So our relationship grew. I found myself always wanting to call him and talk to him. I even have like many recordings of our conversations.
Right.
So now you asked about losing him. I never lost him.
Okay.
He's with me.
Yes, he is.
Every day.
Yes.
Everything he's ever said to me, I carry those things with me, and I pay it forward in my life. As you know, I work in healthcare, and a lot of the people that I serve, their health is not as good as mine.
Right.
But I'm able to relate to them in such a way because I was taught by example of my dad and my mother how to treat people.
Yeah.
And that will take you a long way.
How to treat others.
Treating people right, and then paying forward what you know to others. It will come back to you.
That's what, and I was going to say, what would you say to people who maybe don't have like a father figure in their lives, or or a mother figure in their lives? Because I feel like that is true. When you are just a good person and you pay it forward, that does come back. But sometimes it's like people, they don't have an example.
That's a tough question. But I will say this because, as you know, my father was a pastor, and so I spent a lot of time in church.
Right.
I believe if you surround yourself with positive thinking people, and you're really sincere about that,
right,
you'll find people, or they'll find you.
Okay. Yeah.
That's real.
That's really real.
And if you're seeking something, if you're honestly seeking it, it will manifest.
Yeah.
Over time.
Right.
But it has to be something that you're truly seeking.
Right. It's you're seeking it, and I feel like I saw this on Instagram, like you're being that person.
Right. Absolutely.
Like you're walking in that.
I've had many people walk up to me I'm from Ohio.
Woo-woo. Cleveland.
I've had many people here in California walk up to me and say, "You're not from here.
Right.
You're different." I go like, "I am? Yeah, you're different." And a lot of times that comes with haters.
Okay. Come on. You better say a word.
It comes with haters.
Right.
So if people ain't hating on you, you ain't doing something right.
You ain't doing something right.
You're not doing something right.
That's what I always think too.
I'll never forget once I was at work and this gentleman said to me, hey. I said, "Yes, sir." "I got you figured out." And I'm saying to myself, why are you trying to figure me out?
Right.
You one of them Jesus freaks. I said, "Yes, I am.
Right.
I am."
Okay.
So if that's what you figured out, I mean, hey.
Right.
Keep it stepping.
Okay. Because it's true.
Keep it stepping.
I do love the Lord.
So I'm saying to answer your question, I found a lot of positive role models in the church, me personally.
Got you.
And I know right now for a lot of young people, church is just like, it's not even popular at all.
Yeah.
So, and I feel bad for a lot of young people now because, we are in this, we're in a mode of social media.
Right.
We're in a mode of
online streaming,
microwave society where everything is instant, and
yes,
we're trying to mimic everything we see and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
it becomes, finding that person becomes diluted by a lot of those things.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna say that pick up a book and read.
Okay. Come on. Read.
Pick up a book. Find something that is calling you.
Right.
And read about it. Learn about it. Talk to other people about it.
Yeah. I like that. Something that's calling you.
Yeah. And there's examples. There's so many examples around us, but a lot of times we fail to see them.
We're not paying attention.
So being alert and being honest is also something that will take you a long way. Keeping your head on a swivel at all times.
Come on. Okay, this is where I get my street smarts from. Okay, one last thing. So we've been talking for 20 minutes. I love this though.
Okay.
Thank you for your inputs.
Absolutely.
So you wrote this on your Instagram. Remember, 90% of life is our attitude and how we relate to situations and circumstances. Life and folks will bring the noise. Your reaction is your choice. Think about it. So what does that mean to you? Because I feel like you've come a long way, because when you say think about something before you react.
That's right.
Because do you feel like the old Kennis was just, you was very reactionary?
Ooh, the old Kennis was not nice.
Okay.
Nothing nice.
Okay.
I'm a calculating type dude, so
okay,
you're not going to see it coming.
It's a Gemini.
You're not going to see it coming.
Okay.
It's just curtains.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But when I wake up each morning and I'm laying there before I get out of bed, I'm like I'm really like checking myself out. And when I step out of bed, I make a decision right then. Okay, I'm going to work. Number one, I'm thankful to have a job.
Right.
Even though sometimes that job, Jesus.
Ooh, I know the feeling.
Please take the wheel.
Okay, please.
But anyway, when I didn't have a job, I prayed so hard for one.
Right.
And then when we get it,
right,
we don't want it.
I didn't know you was taking us to church today. Yes. So I make a conscious decision when I step into the workplace, when I am in the eyes of others,
that I want positive energy to flow from me into other people. And that's a decision that I make. And not to let others steal my joy.
Yes.
Because they will. They will try to steal your joy.
Yes, they will. It's a decision you have to make at the top of your day when you
top of the day. And so I've had many people say to me, wow, until you started working here, there was no life here.
Right.
You are the life.
Period.
And I love that. I love to get that kind of feedback, knowing that I'm affecting other people in a positive way.
Yes.
Now, everyone's not going to embrace that, but those are the haters.
Okay. Once again. Hello. Yes.
Those are the haters. And haters, if you're there, hi.
Nice to see you again.
So I just really try to embrace it all and do the best that I can with what I have.
Yeah.
I don't know it all, and I can't do it all.
Yeah.
But I'm taking small bites until I get full.
Yes. Okay, bring the noise.
You follow what I'm saying?
I got one more question.
Okay.
What are you enjoying about this era of your life right now? What are you enjoying right now?
One of the things that I really enjoy every day is when I can go to my social media and I see posts from you.
Oh, really?
No, seriously. And I see your growth. And I love to see you smile.
Thank you.
And, you know, watching my children grow up means everything to me. It is like the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
And so knowing that I won't always be here, but then just seeing you blossom, seeing your brother blossom, that's what I enjoy the most. Seriously, I enjoy that more than I can say, and more than you'll ever know.
Thank you, Dad.
No, seriously.
That's pretty amazing because it's like, I don't know, I always hear that from parents of just like, it's unexplainable when your child comes into the world, how it feels.
There is no guidebook on being a parent.
Right.
Many of us learn from where we came from. Now, where I came from, I'm like, I'm not going to treat my kids like that. I'm not going to do that. But then I could tweak it.
Yeah.
You know?
Some things. Yeah.
And so that's what I would do. And so, but watching you grow up and watching you mature and watching you find yourself, that is great. That's greatness. Other than that, just being alive, being 63 and proud to be 63, having decent health. I'm not a wealthy man, but I have a lot of richness within me.
Within you, yes.
Okay? And you're part of that.
Yes.
Your brother is part of that. Our family is part of that.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
63, y'all. 63.
6'3".
Okay.
That's right. And climbing.
Okay. Over the next, where do you see yourself maybe in the next 5 years?
That is an excellent question. I'm at the point now where I'm wondering, do I wish to retire here in California? Do I want to go back to Ohio? So I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
That's something I'm working on. And it is something that I consciously think about on a day-to-day basis. But just knowing, first of all, that you're okay, your brother is okay, and that my job was done well,
Yes.
then I can do something else.
Okay, amen.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds to me like my father is definitely better than he was yesterday. Okay. So, yeah.
And you were part of that. Thank you. Thank you, Cam.
Of course. Thank you for joining me today, Dad. This was great. I was just like, Dad, I want you to be a part of the show. He's like, okay. I want to see the questions. I'm like, nope. We just gonna talk. Okay? Because like he said, he's calculated.
That's right.
Okay. But no, I liked it was very natural, right?
Absolutely. And I thank you for that.
Yeah.
I trusted you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you for coming back to Aqua World. I am your host, Cam. This was my father, Mr. Kennis McDaniel, aka Knowledge is Power. Okay? And we'll see you at the next episode. Bye.
Peace.
Them other girls want me, but not you. I want to know. She be not this kind thing with tomato.